Welcome to Discovery! Roll the intro, please. Welcome to a giant episode of Discovery. And when I say giant, I mean it's kind of big that makes you question your life choices, like eating that extra slice of pizza last night. We have a plethora of new albums to talk about that dropped this week, from black metal to death. Oh man, let's be honest, mostly just death metal. This week is massive. I mean, we should really consider changing the title to Death Discovery, because nearly 95% of it is death metal. Seriously, it's like we've been starved for death metal over the past few months, and now October is like, here you go, here are 1,000 death metal albums to feast on. What is going on? What is going on? It's insane how many death metal releases are packed on this episode, and most of them are pretty darn good. Our main event for this Discovery will be none other than Blood Incantation. There have been some rave reviews with many people claiming it's perfect. Is it truly perfection, or just a clever marketing ploy? Well, you'll have to stick around to find out during the main event. I'm anticipating this episode to be close to fucking half an hour, so grab your snacks, get some black coffee for some black metal reviews, get some red coffee for some death metal reviews, and settle in. Before I dive in, pop your favorite discoveries in the comments below, and let's get started. So, you guys didn't tell me that Escotrilihum released a new album, an album I cannot pronounce, but it was released on September 20th through Voidhanger Records. Take a listen. I can understand why you didn't mention the new Escotrilihum album, because it's not very good. Escotrilihum have tired of their sound, and this is clearly evident on this release. It's disappointing to see where this band is heading. Their past few releases haven't been great, while Die for the Serpent Telepath will always go in a special place in my heart. It's absolutely fucking amazing, it's absolutely a masterpiece, and it still is to this day. I was incredibly disappointed by this new one. A lot of clean vocals are utilized on this album, and they aren't very fucking good. You get the same old eerie fucking melodies, and I think the only decent song on this album is Near Death Experience. The rest is quite ambient with occasional heavy moments. By the end of it, I was completely fucking bored. It's a pretty disappointing release, if I may say so. I love his harsher, more aggressive vocals, not this clean singing shit which he employs a lot on this album. To me, this is the worst album by far. Even the last album, Astral Constellations of the Magical Zodiac, was good despite featuring a lot of cleaner vocals. This one lacks in songwriting. It repeats many of the same melodies from previous albums. They try to do something a bit different, but to me, it fails. So this album can get in the bin. I'm scoring it a 40%. It's below average for Escotrilihum, and I will not accept any scores higher than 40%. Hopefully next album is much better than this. Next up on Discovery is the Norwegian black metal band 1349, who released their new album The Wolf and the King on October 4th through Season of Mist. Take a listen. This is a good album, but not a great one. I had the album for a few weeks now and have listened to it several times. It delivers straightforward, in-your-face black metal. The vocals are solid, but I feel the songwriting lacks a bit of depth. There are many other black metal bands that are doing it better than 1349. The album kicks off with the hard-hitting track The God Devourer, featuring tremolo picking and blast beats. Ashes of Ages is another decent song, but from there the album tends to meander. Inferior Pathways is a standout track and probably my favourite on the album. The Vessel of Storm is also a solid offering. While each of these songs is enjoyable, they ultimately fall short of greatness. I've always appreciated 1349, and I expected this album to be much better than it turned out to be. The songwriting feels straightforward, lacking substantial depth, and that's a significant drawback. If you're looking for a hard-hitting, heavy black metal album, you might find satisfaction here. However, if you want an album with both intensity and exceptional songwriting, look no further than Marduk's Memento Mori, released last year. It does it so much better. Many of these tracks come across as average black metal songs, and I wasn't particularly impressed. Production is quite clean, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I would have preferred a rawer sound. A grittier production could have enhanced the album, but ultimately the mediocre songwriting remains the most significant issue. With that being said, I'm scoring this album 50%. It is straight down the middle, fine, but nothing really special. Maul has released a new album in the jaws of Bereavement on October 4th through $20 spin. The album is good, but it's nowhere near as riveting as their previous releases, Seraphic Punishment, which was one of my favourite albums of 2022. Maul has certainly changed the sound on this record. While Seraphic Punishment had a doomier edge, this one delivers a slab of death metal straight to your face. There are some strong tracks on this album, the songwriting is solid, the guitar work is excellent, and the vocals are guttural and demonic, and you'll find some great guitar solos here, and I've noticed that the production is much cleaner on this record, which strips away the gritty layering they had a few years ago. While not complaining, the previous grime added a certain dynamic that is now missing. The album features thunderous drums, contributing to its heavy sound. The self-titled track opens the album with a powerful punch followed by the aggressive Blood Quantum. Spontaneous Stigmata delivers meaty riffs, while Midwest Death stands out as a unique song that works well within the album's context. The song possesses a melodic edge, and while you do encounter some doomier riffs, they aren't as prominent as Seraphic Punishment. It's decent, but not great. The album does grow on you with subsequent listens, and it's clear that they have upped their production quality. There's another band I'll discuss soon that has made strides in the production, but for now, I'm scoring this album a 65%. Overall, it's a good album featuring some excellent songs, strong songwriting, and the great moments of heaviness. The vocals are vehement and right in your face, but it's definitely not one of the best metal albums of the year. The US death metal band Undeath has released their latest album, More Insane, on October 4th through Prosthetic Records. Take a listen. Undeath is a hidden gem in the realm of death metal, and I really enjoyed its sound. The previous album, Legions of a Different Kind, well, it's not their previous album, but it was a fantastic release in 2020 during the pandemic era. They've since become more technical and groovy throughout the album It's Time to Rise from the Grave. On this new album, they've combined all their sounds, offering a mix of technical tracks and insane death metal anthems. Vocalist Kyle Jones' performance is terrific. His gutturals and high screams are fantastic. The songwriting is strong as well, and each track hits hard thanks to the production that makes it feel like they're playing live in your ears, like fucking live. The production is clean. The murky sounds present in Legions of a Different Kind are gone. However, this album might be a bit too polished, which is one issue I have found with it. It's good, but it sounds overly clean. I suppose this is the direction modern death metal has taken. Some songs feature melodic elements, and the guitar riffing is fucking fantastic, fast and furious. Drummer Matt Browning consistently delivers great performances, and I love the intricate drum fills he incorporates into the songs. Standout tracks like Dead From Beyond and More Insane feature mouth-watering fucking riffs, while Brandish the Blade is another great song. Cramped Caskets showcases stompy fucking riffs that make you wanna headbang. Overall, it's a solid album, but its polished sound may be a bit too much for some purists. Nonetheless, it's still very good, so I'm scoring this a 70%. Here's another death metal band for you. The US group Greenwitch has released a debut album, Forced Out of Existence, on October 4th through Maggot Stomp. Take a listen. This This is a crushingly heavy death metal album. At times the vocals sound like someone vomiting after a night of excessive drinking, which adds a raw edge to the experience. I appreciate the organic and raw production. The tone of the drums and the distorted guitars are fantastic, featuring groovy chugging riffs that make this a fun death metal record. Bodybound has a nice groove to it, while Rod Alone showcases insane guitar leads. The monstrous vocals are muffled at times, but they work overall. It's pretty impressive that this is their debut album. They've crafted a solid release. I've found myself really enjoying this one. The chuggy riffs can be hypnotic, transporting you to a fucking different dimension. Eradication Tactics has a doomier feel, and the vocals are the best on this track, truly demonic at times. The black and tremolo picking adds a nice touch to this song. The final track, Severed, is a weird one, like high feedback frequency guitar that is really turned up with a bit of feedback to end off the album. I don't know what I wanted, another hard-hitting death metal onslaught to the end of the album, and thankfully we do. Those riffs on the last song are fucking tasty. The vocals are more experimentation, high-pitched shrieks, low gutturals, and tasty fucking breakdowns. Overall, this is a really good record. I was a bit hesitant when I first saw the album cover, worried it might lean toward deathcore. However, my concerns were washed away the moment I hit play and listened to the first notes of the Cyberneticus. The dirty production enhances everything, and the breakdowns hit harder than anything a deathcore band could fucking produce. I love it. I'm giving this album a solid 75%. It features great solos, good vocals, though they could be better, and a wonderfully dirty atmosphere. What's going on? Here's another death metal band. Temple of Dread, a German death metal group, has released their new album, God of the Godless, on October 4th through Testimony Records. Take a listen. This is a very good record that channels old school death metal aesthetics while still sounding modern and fresh. The moment I turned on the album and heard Carnage Ritual, I felt as if I was being transported back to the 80s listening to Zombie Ritual from Scream Bloody Gore by Death. The album embodies old death fresh, and you can tell they've been inspired by many of the legends of the genre. I love the riffing on this album. The frantic guitar solos make everything sound distinct, and it's easy to tell them apart. As I mentioned, Carnage Ritual is a death-inspired track, and I absolutely love it. The songs Spawn of the Filth and Black Scream are heavy and hard-hitting, while Sacrificial Dawn introduces a more melodic element with its infectious guitar grooves. God of the Godless is a more of a slow-paced song, but I adore the vocal work here, complemented by distant synths that create a haunting atmosphere. There are so many good songs on this album. Prophetic Misanthropy features an eerie black metal-like guitar melody, which then transitions back to the classic death metal vibes. I love how heavy this album gets, and the production is fucking fantastic, gritty yet refreshing. The drumming is thunderous at times, adding to the overall intensity. Vocalist Yen delivers impressive performances with a shouty style that still conveys animosity and ferocity. The solos are excellent, making this a standout old school death metal album. At times the album sounds very dark, especially throughout Monstrosity Divine, where the bass intro is killer. Oh yes, this album is so good. It's definitely in the running for one of the best death metal albums of the year. It's fun and energetic, but still ominous and bleak. Also appreciate the thrashy elements throughout Terminal Petrification and Demise of Olympus, which hit hard with their groovy riffs and thunderous drumming. Overall, this is such a good album that I'm thinking of giving it a solid 85%. Not many people are talking about this release, but it's the guitar tone and vocals that make this album absolutely fantastic. This is one of the best death metal albums of the year, especially when it comes to the old school modern death metal sound. Well, it just keeps getting better and better with the Danish melodeath titans Livlos, who released their third studio album, The Crescent King, on October 4th through Nocturne Productions. Take a listen. I didn't expect to like this album as much as I would. Maybe it's the concept of riffing guitars, the insane high growls, or the grandiose melodies. Overall, this is a very good album from the Danish band, showcasing some excellent songwriting. This is a hard-hitting melodic death metal record that I thoroughly enjoy. The guitar work is stellar, and the vocals by Nicholas Licker are outstanding. He seamlessly incorporates high death metal growls mixed with low gutturals. The emotional driven guitar solos are fantastic, delivering intensity all the way through. The reduction there is actually quite good, highlighting all the instruments well with the vocals balanced perfectly, not overpowering, just right. The melodies are dark and instilling a sense of dread and an apocalyptic feel throughout the album. The drumming is fantastic too, incorporating blast beats when needed along with tight drum fills and accents. While there are some fast-paced songs, the moment you hear Orbit Weaver, you realize it's pure melodic death metal, nothing else. Each track on the album is warranted. I love the groovy riffs in the Crescent King and the chaotic energy of Maelstrom. The slow burner Scourge of the Stars features unique vocal variety with Licker switching from high shrieks to low gutturals, complemented by great guitar solos. Harvest has a chugging riff that would definitely make you want to bang your head. A more slow-paced song, and Solace encapsulates eerie clean guitars, an interlude you could say leading onto the riff-heavy melodic throne of Cosm, sounding more black metal than anything, then transitioning to doomier riffs and amazing melodies. The songwriting is impressive, very innovative. At times the album takes unexpected turns, leaning you one way only to switch it up on you again. Endless Majesty is filled with grandiose melodies, providing an amazing ending to concluding the album. And I mean, the ending is a true ending. They know how to do an incredible ending to end off a very good album, with that chord progression and those insane vocals and that tasty fucking solo that will get you hard down there. Overall, I'm scoring this an 80%. It's an awesome album from start to finish, with concept focusing on the demise of mankind amid the struggle between good and evil. It narrates the story of a king embarking on an epic journey through space and time, where he uncovers the profound truths about himself and humanity. At the same time, it explores how even a purest soul and its noble intentions can be tainted when confronted with the temptations of power, delusion, and despair. So in 80%, I really enjoyed this one. Definitely one of the best melodic death metal albums of the year, in my opinion. You may not know this, but Abramelin are death metal legends here in Australia, and they've unleashed a chaotic monstrosity, Sins of the Father, on October 4th through Hammerheart Records. Take a listen. I've seen Abramelin live once, and they were absolutely mind-blowing, like a sonic assault that left my ears bleeding and my soul questioning in its existence. Formed back in the 90s, this is their fourth studio album. They are known as death metal pioneers for us Aussies. The album is nothing short of fantastic. It retains that old school death metal sound with production that's really good while still capturing the raw essence of the early works. It's a relentless 44 minutes of death metal onslaught. The guitar work is phenomenal, filled with its sense of twisted melody, and the songwriting is downright terrific. Conflagration of the Dreamer kicks things off with a bang. It's a nothing short of amazing. The Gory Hole is a fast-paced eclectic piece that will have you headbanging uncontrollably, while the self-titled track is packed with guitar flurries, lightning fast riffs, and fast drumming that feels like a sledgehammer to your fucking skull. Simon Dowell's vocals are consistently great. This album is no exception. His gutturals are gut-wrenching, and the few high-pitched shrieks add a layer of disturbing dynamics. There are so many hard-hitting songs that will remind you of bands like Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel with the infectious riffs. Last Rite stands out with its melodic and melancholic vibes. Honestly, this could be my favorite song off the album. The solos in the dark tremolo picking, leading in the solo at the conclusion, so fucking good. Shovel Man has a stomp to it, a fucking stomp. The middle part of it is so good. The Cease State with that guitar licks and scaling delivers eerie melodies and thunderous drumming that will haunt your dreams. Give or take, I can give or take Street Art. That's the weakest song off the album, but you do get a great solo. You Bleed, I Feed is a chaotic frenzy that wraps up the album in a beautifully disordered way. This is a slab of old school death metal with a modern twist. Every song sounds fresh and innovative without crossing the line. They know their lane and stay in it, producing an album that hits like a brick to the fucking face. The lyrics are gloriously offensive, sure to rattle the woke police, diving deep into themes of kill, death, necrophilia, and all the delightful filth we all crave, and all the good shit. I'm scoring this an 80%. It may not be the absolute best death metal album of the year, but I'm pretty sure it'll find its way Onto my end of year list. The album grows on you with repeated listens. If you love old school death metal, you'll devour this. It's even better than Undeath in my opinion. The dark guitar tone, especially in Man's Best Friend, is utterly intoxicating and just a relentless onslaught of modern death metal. Our main event for this week's discovery is the US death metal crew Blood Incantation, and the new album Absolute Everywhere were released on October 4th through Century Media Records. What can I say about this record? Many YouTubers, including the Metal Meltdown and Bangers TV, have hyped it up significantly. Is it the perfect 100%, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, or 100%? Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's not. However, it is undoubtedly very good. I've listened to this album multiple times, and I think it's excellent, so it's going to receive a high score from me. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on the album as well. Is it as good as everyone thinks? Blood Incantation left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth when they released Time Wave Zero. After this phenomenal hidden history of the human race back in 2019, I was eagerly looking forward to Time Wave Zero, only to be left utterly fucking disappointed. However, fortunately, with Absolute Elsewhere, they have redeemed themselves. This album is a rich tapestry of flourishing death metal infused with progressive elements and everything in between, taking you into the dark areas of space. What stands out are the 70s prog rock vibes that remind me of legends like Pink Floyd and even Rush. This seems to create an immersive atmosphere throughout the record, while the guttural demonic vocals are expertly complemented by clean singing in the latter parts of the album. There are dreamy soundscapes, and every track feels purposeful, like a wave flowing in a perfect harmony. The guitar work is exceptional, featuring soaring solos and thunderous drumming that elevate the experience. You'll find some subtle guitar nuances sprinkled throughout the first few tracks, showcasing the band's willingness to experiment, something that is refreshing to see in the genre. Quite innovative, pushing the boundaries of what the genre can encompass. One aspect I noted is production. It's very clean. While would have preferred a bit more grit, it doesn't detract from the overall listening experience. Sonically, the album sounds brilliant on headphones. Sounds amazing. The structure of the album resembles a suite, with each individual track possessing a unique tone. The songwriting is impressive, particularly in the progressive elements present in tracks like The Message Tablet 3, which wraps up the album beautifully. Like, you know, stealing a few riffs from Crystal Mountain by Death. And especially that haunting melody in the conclusion, so good. The final minutes. The album truly grows on you with each listen. I found myself playing it 5 times in a single day without even realizing it, thanks to its relatively short runtime, about 44 minutes. The opening track, The Stargate Tablet 1, showcases the band at their most aggressive, featuring frantic drumming. As the album progresses, things slow down and become quite meandering at time, becoming more progressive and an increase in synths and ambient sounds. Interesting, throughout the album you can catch elements of black gaze, which blend seamlessly into the overall sound. Transition with blistering solos, blast beats, and captivating progressive moments, including those ethereal Pink Floyd style sections, which do become meandering at times, and I get slightly bored of it, but I'm considering giving this album a solid 85%. This is a high score and reflects its status as one of the best albums of the year. It continues to grow on me with each listen. I can't give it 100%. There's no fucking way I can give you 100%. There are some flaws on this album. There really is. But I've already told you what the flaws are. It meanders at times. So the album continues to grow on me. Each listen, I'm confident we'll make it on my end of year list. What a fantastic way to kick off October. So yeah, that's it for the massive episode of Discovery. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what album stood for you the most. Also, Discovery episodes will be shorter for the next few weeks. This episode was pretty big. You'll get 13 and 15 minute episodes, 13 to 15 minute episodes every week. But I just need to take a break on all the death metal we had this week. Plenty of stuff coming up on the channel. Stay tuned this week for my favorite thrash metal albums of all time and another album ranking. So let me know your favorite discoveries. It's been fun, and I'll see you in the next one.